Bonnie, we're back.
Tramelle, I'm so excited.
We've taken just a small hiatus. But, I'm excited to be back.
Me too.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm so excited to be back. And we did have to spend a few months like shifting things in our lives. And sometimes you have to focus on that. And now we're back and it's time. So hooray.
Exactly. But we're coming back with a punch. We're going to try out a little different format for the podcast. All the feedback that I got, it all centered around our banter. People just seem to think that you guys seem like friends. Well, it's because we're friends.
And we have been for like a decade at this point.
So not only are you going to get to hear us banter, we're still going to bring on some guests, but we are going to try out doing some segments instead of long form conversation. I think that's a way for us to tackle a couple more things in one episode. And so I hope that you guys are along for this ride. We are going to try things out and see how they go. And we're not really married to perfection. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, we'll try something different.
Yeah. And I frankly have never been married to perfection because I'm messy and I like it like that.
Agreed. 100%. All right. So let's first talk about some hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff going on with this administration of the president, man.
And I've got the hot takes. I've got so many.
Agreed. So I think that originally when all this stuff went down, I'll be honest with you, I was a little overcome and overwhelmed. And I was kind of sad about it. Obviously, I didn't expect for things to happen this way. And I'm definitely not on the side of the president. Not to say that, I'm not gonna qualify that. I'm not on the side of the president. That's it.
That period. That's not
period. But that first week when all these things were happening, it was extremely overwhelming. I was not ready. I definitely practiced a little compartmentalization and just kind of stayed away. So as I was catching up, it wasn't as if I was catching up with like everybody else. Maybe everybody else was getting bits and pieces every day. So by day 7, it was like, and it kind of leveled out for them. For me, it was like I got everything at once and was just like, oh my God. And then week 2, still a little slow in gathering information. I went back into seclusion, right? But then I took some time and really did my research.
Okay.
Like I went and I checked out what was actually happening out in these streets. I felt like maybe no one was really doing anything, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
And I did take some time to really take care of myself. I was feeling really sad, and I felt like I needed to give space for that. And then I'm back, and I feel really energized to talk about this stuff because I've seen some really positive pushback. And I don't know if everybody's getting that, and I want to make sure that they are. So I'm excited for us to discuss it.
Yeah, definitely. Those first couple of weeks, I just felt so overwhelmed. And sometimes it was even in the middle of the night. They were doing things and you woke up in the morning like, I can't even sleep with how bad things happening. But yeah, I think especially over the past couple of days, there's just a lot more that I see online of very specific, reporting and activities and resisting. And yeah, I think those first couple of weeks, I felt a narrative of no one's doing anything. We don't know what to do. I think I needed to wait to see some of that actually coming out and seeing what it looks like. And so, yeah, I agree. I've been really encouraged by some of the activity I've seen.
And shout out to like people locally who are doing stuff. I know I had a friend, her name is Jess, and I'll actually link her post, but she posted on Instagram. It was really going into how there's so much propaganda going on and people want you to think a certain way. We know the president has done quite a few ICE raids, and we live in San Antonio, Texas, where there's a lot of people who would be vulnerable to those raids. And this young lady actually posted where there were 2 ICE agents who were taking someone away who looked like they were of Mexican descent, and the back of their shirt said Latinos for Trump. And she was explaining that you cannot believe everything you see. And she used Snopes.com to debunk this, and it looks like someone superimposed Latinos for Trump on the back of the shirt. And I know this is all about inciting fear, but most of all to push people out, right? And so my hope is that people aren't taking the bait. If there's something happening out there, please, please, please go and do your research. I'm been a person who does a lot of fact checking for a long time. I don't care who tells me. I'm gonna go check, and I hope that you are the same type of person.
Yeah. This is a broader conversation, right, about Photoshop and AI and all of this, that you really can't always believe what is in front of you. And AI is changing so quickly that it's becoming more and more difficult to discern an image and whether it's real and whether it's not. And so I agree, like, before you jump into this sort of rage baiting and fear baiting, like, take a beat and make sure that it's really something to be angry about, because reality is there's a lot of things to actually be angry about. We don't have to make them up. There's plenty to be angry
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So,
well, let's talk a little bit about that information that you were telling me about. I know that in the past, people have kind of risen up, and that's happening again.
Yes. My favorite example of this is this group of federal workers. And originally it was just park rangers. Like in 2016, they started this and they called themselves the Alt National Park Service. And at this point, they're saying that they have like 30,000 federal workers that are involved with their efforts. And so they just, I mean, it's a fantastic thing to follow on socials because it is very factual. It is things like, this is what we see in our own offices. This is what other people are reporting from offices. This is what we say you should do, right? Like, don't take this offer and get an attorney and do what you need to, obviously, to feel safe. But this is what we're going to focus on. And it's just really cool to see. I mean, 30,000 federal workers that are willing. I mean, there's obviously a digital trail, right? Like, there is some danger in doing this, but they're out there and they're doing it. And it is so exciting to watch that movement grow of people like within the federal government who are willing to be like, no, we're not doing this. And that it started with people who were like, no, we're protecting the national parks. That is our mission and our job, and that's what we're passionate about. But it has spread to so many other parts of the federal government. It's really cool. So follow them, Alt National Park Service.
And we'll link it as well.
Yeah.
So let's do one more segment.
Okay.
So I don't know if I've told you, but I actually teach a career prep class for a tech start. I don't know why I say that. It's not a tech startup. It's a tech boot camp. So students come to this boot camp to get education and certifications to better their job, opportunities. And they bring me in and other qualified career professionals, but, I'm the best. And so they bring me in to do a week's worth, 20 hours worth of career prep. And this is my favorite class because they come from all walks of life, all experience levels. And I'm having conversations with them about like what's happening as far as how you should be marketing yourself. And so one of the really crazy things that happened was one of my students told me that they were in an interview. It was a panel interview. There were 3 people in this interview, 2 people who quite obviously were very excited and energized about the interview, and 1 person who was the obvious decision maker. And halfway through, they checked out. So it was like the question that this student asked me is, what do you do when this happens? And I'm like, the crazy part is I know this happens a lot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Where
for sure.
you read the room and it's over. I'm done for it. This is not going to turn into a job. What am I doing now? And what I've always said is, number one, every interview is an opportunity for you to practice your interview skills, make sure that you're at least self-aware enough to say that you did your best, regardless if they made the decision or not. And it helps you for the next time that you interview. You're going to hear these questions over and over, so don't just check out yourself. But the biggest thing that I think you can probably speak to, Bonnie, is I find that a lot of my clients, they're so emotionally invested in these interviews going the way they want them to go. And they're not realizing that there's so many moving parts behind closed doors that they have absolutely nothing to do with. And so
Yeah.
even if, things went well, there's a lot of times where because of things that are unforeseen, you won't get that position. So you have to really be thoughtful. What would you tell a client who was in this situation?
I would tell them to throw things and walk out the door and say,
turn the table over.
You really missed your chance for something great. No, I can understand that that's very disheartening. And that for me, I would sit and be like, oh my God, what did I just say that made this person make that visible of a shutdown? Let me remind you, it might not have been about you at all, right? This person probably has an Apple Watch, just got some obnoxious text. It was like, well, shit, I can't stay in this interview anymore. I got to go deal with this thing. So you're right. There's so many moving parts, and not every job is for you, right? Like you go to an interview, it doesn't go well. That's because the job wasn't for you. It feels personal because you're on this like audition mindset. It's probably not personal. There are so many pieces that you don't know, and it's okay to just say, I trust myself. I trust the skills I would bring to this job. If they don't want it, that's not the job for me. There's other options.
100%. I agree with you. And the other part is, my hope is that you're putting out so many applications that are good for you, that you have so many interviews, and that your head is able to focus on multiple options rather than putting all your eggs in one basket and you getting so emotionally tied into one situation that when things don't go right, it's okay. You walk out knowing there's still other opportunities and that the right place for you is going to find you.
Yeah, exactly. And I know it's stressful, right? You're doing a job interview because you need a job. You need money. You need a change of scene. You need, I get it. Like there is a lot of pressure. And yeah, just have faith in your own skills and your own personality and your right to be in that room and take up space, whether it's the job for you or not.
Oh, look, it is our honorary staff member showing up today for work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Valkyrie, for joining us. Do you have anything to add to this conversation?
If you're listening to this and you're not watching, it's because we have a cat in the view, and he comes all the time. Like
all the time.
Definitely one of our guests that we have recurring.
I don't know why cats think if you're on Zoom, whoever else is on Zoom with you wants to see your butthole. Like, I don't know. Why do they think that?
I also think that a lot of times, like pets, like for some reason, if you're talking, they think you're talking to them. So they're like, well, she's not looking at me. Maybe I need to get over there.
Yes, exactly.
There must be something that she's got to tell me.
So Valkyrie says, you belong everywhere and show everyone your butt. Here you go.
So just like Valkyrie, my hope is that you go out there and that you are confident in yourself, regardless of what other people are showing. You cannot know what people are thinking. So don't make assumptions based on visual things on people's face. Some people have resting face and it's not the good one. And you just don't know. So my hope is that, continue to do what you know you do well. Focus on your own confidence and keep it going. But don't get so caught up that it ruins your day.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was Workplace Confessions.
Woo-hoo!
We have quite a few ideas for segments that we're going to be trying out. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too. And I'm excited about some guests that we have lined up to come and talk about things. We've got career experts and we've got relationship, divorce experts, and we've got like teen peer leadership experts. And those are just a few of the people that we want you to hear from this season. And so we are really excited about those conversations and the conversations between me and you, Tramelle, because we are friends and I do love spending this time with you and I love our banter.
Yes, as do I. So if you wanted to maybe bring up a topic that you think that we should be discussing, or if you know of a person that you think that we should bring to the podcast, I definitely want you to reach out. You can email us or you can leave a comment. You can leave a review, and we're happy to make sure that we consider that.
of other places where you see this really positive resistance happening. If you find places that are just full of joy and community, like, please tell us about those so we can bring them to everyone else too.
Yes, because we want people to know that, you know, I'm campy. So I'm going to just say good will prevail. It may take a little while, but we ain't going anywhere.
Yep.
I'm not backing down. I'm not going to sit down and be quiet. I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere.
And that we deserve joy and people around us sow chaos because they don't like that we feel joy. So we deserve it even more. So do the things that feel fun and good, and let's have some good conversations.
That's right. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.